Hello, Internet. Welcome to the International Writers Fellowship. My name is Daniel Hand. I'm the RPG therapist, and I am with Erica Walker of RPG Play Therapy. So look at that. 2 RPG therapists and authors, one stream. Oh, and we have Emma as well. Emma's just as
Yay!
joined us. Yay! We're live, just so you know.
It's okay.
So-
I figured I just finished my Fallout 4 stream for the day, so I'm kind of like running from here to there and there to here.
Well, if you need breaks from streaming, then maybe, you know.
No, I planned it this way. I didn't really have anybody hanging out, otherwise I would have raided on over, but you know.
You know. When you know, you know.
And if you know, now you know. Something like that. More coffee.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Yeah, good. I was telling Daniel before, like we came on, we had D&D on Saturday, and then the last 2 days I have been just kind of lazy, and I did a few things on a task. Like I had some things on a to-do list yesterday and got them done, and I have a couple of things on a to-do list to do later at some point today, but
other than that,
yeah, it's just been nice, like just chilling and not doing anything.
Whereas over here, it's been just another day. Yes. Oh god, and we've got a lurker already. Hello, Charlie.
Yay! Yes, so it's been it feels okay. So that's the thing. It feels lazy, and yes, it is very much self-care.
Well, if it didn't feel lazy, then frankly, you wouldn't be self-care, would it? That's my excuse anyway. I'm sticking with it.
I think it's like you should not think of your self-care time as laziness, though. Like you should think of it as productive rest.
You should, but how many of us do that?
No,
I'm working on it.
Yeah, that's like I've been sitting on the back deck in our zero gravity loungers, just reading.
What have you been reading?
I'm reading this like shifter series that's I'm really liking it.
Is it like romance, adventure?
Oh, yeah. It's all gay romance.
Of course it is.
We love a gay romance.
Yeah.
I just finished reading a really good book called Things They Carried. Anybody heard of it? It's a sort of fictional memoir about Vietnam. The author actually did go to Vietnam, but the stories are questionable as to whether or not they're, real or sort of. It's hard to explain. Like I can tell that there's a lot of real experience put in there, but it's like a fictional memoir, so you don't really know where the line between. And he talks about that too, the line between storytelling and truth is. But it's really good. I actually picked it up because I was subbing for an American literature class a few weeks ago, and they were reading it, and I started reading it because I was bored while they were doing all their Google Classroom work, and then I was like, this is great, and then I got a copy and finished it. So, apropos recommendation for Memorial Day. Things They Carried by Tim O'Brien. Highly recommend. Tim O'Brien, yes.
I've read several of his books. Sorry, what did you say the one you called was?
Things They Carried. Which ones have you read?
I cannot remember.
Oh, you've got them on your bookshelf. I know you're into war stories, Dan, so I thought especially you might enjoy it. It is gory, though, I will say that. It's definitely not holding back on the difficult and gory aspects of the Vietnam War.
Jesus, no. It's behind this. I have read some of his. I didn't recognize the title, but the second you said his name, was like, oh yes, I have read.
And he's pretty prolific. Good author too. He does this thing though that I don't like, where he does like paragraphs that are a run-on sentence. And I know it's a style thing, but it kind of makes me a little kooky. Oh, what's up, Graham Cracker? Welcome to the chat.
Yes, thank you for joining us. We're just talking about books we've been reading and No, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. And I just finished reading, rereading The Protector of the Small series by Tamara Pierce. So if you're into middle reader adventure stories.
Well, oddly enough, you mentioned Vietnam. I'm currently reading a history of the Vietnam conflict written by a British military, well, he's a military historian now, but he was a war correspondent for decades, a man by the name of Max Hastings. Yeah, and it's just funny. As horrific as DMB Info was, the French should not be fighting. They should know this. They should have learned this by that point.
Oh, the French. I've been working on Eastern Front. What does that mean?
Presumably a novel about the First World War. Well, it would be. Yep, there we go.
World War I. I remember reading a book called All Quiet on the Western Front, I think in middle school.
That's a German book.
I was like, that sounds familiar. The Eastern Front.
And the film starred John Boy Walton.
All Quiet on the Western Front?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the film.
John Boy Walton, and who was the bloke who played Dom in Airwolf? He was in quite a few things.
You know me, I'm terrible with actor names.
Ernst Bognar, something like that. Shall we do cards? We haven't done cards yet.
Let's do cards. I'll put the book recommendations up in the Discord as well if anybody is curious.
Who would like to do cards today?
Mine are all downstairs because we've been drawing them somewhat regularly, like as a family.
Interesting. Do you guys do it like we do, where you pull it and talk about it, or how does that work?
Yeah. Okay. And I think I just ordered, I ordered a dragon set for a couple of trainings I have coming up. Because like we'll send, in a couple of weeks I'm going, oh crap, or is that next? Nope, that's in 2 weeks. Okay, good. Oh no, that's next week. Holy crap, I'm going to I'm going to Orlando next week to present and at a conference. We don't have a card. We don't have our stuff ready yet. It will get there. We'll get it done.
Erica, what was your? Sorry.
It's an hour and 15-minute presentation on using Dungeons and Dragons with the Crucial Seas in Adlerian psychology. So like it's. We could get up there and wing it. But like we give out cards. We give out. So I got the Dragon Wisdom deck, I think.
So, yeah, but important question: do any of them smoke cigars?
I don't remember.
I can almost guarantee the answer would be no. Between you and me. Sorry, Amber wants to show us something.
Yes.
No, just really quick before we do cards, Erica, what was your book recommendation?
That's what I was gonna look it up. Well, the one that I'm reading right now, I think, is book 5 in this series. It's called Legally Mated. And it's well, hold on. I'll send it to you.
Send it to me.
And it's something that like a lot of people don't like. It can be seen as squicky because it's an impreg. It's an impreg story.
You know what? I like
them. Yeah.
A lot of people, you know.
I'm with you, Graham.
Oh, the smell of smoke.
But like I also send out cards like for the trading that I'm going to do. But I ordered an Oracle deck because it seemed like something that my family needed, that we needed to like draw on a daily basis and see what the universe was trying to tell us. And it is the Manifesting Your Greatness deck. And the artwork looks amazing. And I'm very excited for it.
Right, shall I do the card then? Let's get this shown right. So,
I just realized I was mirrored.
I've got the Ace of Pentacles.
So
So, tarot suits are an unfolding story progressing from the ace to the 10. Tarot aces sparkle with unique magic. Aces are the seed of their suit. The infinite possibilities of each suit exist inside the ace, just as everything you are, were, and will be is tucked inside of you. Understanding how the ace is a seed, like a flower, fruit, or a vegetable seed, will help you interpret the ace when it appears in a reading. It is true beginning. The Ace of Pentacles is the gift of the world of Pentacles. A mysterious hand, blah, blah. Oh, yeah. Apparently, you need to look at this card. So, a mysterious hand appears through the cloud of possibilities holding a pentacle. Tendrils of growth extend through the hand. Clouds appear on every ace because they are blah, 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 blah. Who cares? Just tell us what it means. So, hands, job done.
It's a pretty card. Can we see it full screen?
This is the same one as the Sexy King.
Love the Sexy King. I want to see it full screen. I'm going to be needy today.
And why not?
You're not being needy. You're asking for what you need.
I need to see it big. Thanks, Erica.
I'm just going to read the entire. Oh yeah, there you go. Have a read that. Have a look at that. Mm-hmm. I'm having one of those days.
There you go.
There you go.
Focus.
Clouds appear on every ace because they are the threshold and entry point to reality. What was hidden is now visible. What was unseen is now seen. Aces reflect the gateway of manifestation. First there is nothing, then there is something. Aces reflect the beginning, the start. It is the birth of their suit. A bewitched hand holds a pentacle. The hand is the symbol of human ingenuity and potential. Hands suggest invention, creative ability, and expression. Hands can be used lovingly to comfort another or oneself. Palms and fingers caress and nurture. Alternatively, hands can be used for violence, in anger, or even to kill. Hands remind us of how we handle things in life. They are used for communication via sign language. Hindu and Buddhist traditions make use of mudras, hand gestures creating a specific energetic flow in the body. Interior thoughts move through our fingers when drawing, texting, and writing. The pentacle suggests evolution that is to come. A path leads from the heart of the garden through an arched gate. The path suggests the road we travel. The enclosed garden suggests a barrier that encloses and protects, but also can become a hiding place. The doorway is the threshold of change and adventure. The open door reminds you of current opportunities. Fall pumpkins are neatly gathered beneath the tree. White flowers suggest the purity of the soul and innocence thriving within you. A mountain rises towards celestial realms far in the distance. How high do you want to go? What are you willing to risk? The Ace of Pentacles is a gift. Magic is at hand. But what will you do? The Ace of Pentacles holds all possibilities inside the material world. It is the gift of people, places, and things. A gift that you can see, smell, taste, and touch. The Ace of Pentacles is a windfall of money, a new friend walking into your life, and an opportunity. Well, that was a lot.
It was, but I don't know. I'm feeling that in my own life, so it's always interesting to see it reflected in the cards.
Okay. So, in terms of Hujmaflop writing,
what deck was that?
That was the Sexy King deck, otherwise known as the Darkwood Tarot.
I saw a copy of that out and thought it was pretty and almost grabbed it, so I'm glad somebody's got it. Darkwood Tarot. As far as writing goes, I'm still struggling to create time and space in my life to do writing. I've been doing blogging professionally for some of my clients, and that's been really fun, but creative writing wise, I've been in a bit of a lull since NaNoWriMo.
So in terms of streamlining the meaning of the card is just a new beginnings, new opportunities, new tangible things. So could we potentially look at that in terms of a new beginning of a project, something that's starting, or a new book series that we're buying and reading, or how could we interpret new beginnings according to our writer's journey?
Oh, also welcome back, Caedmon. It's totally cool that you're joining us a few minutes behind the hour. But I will say I am spending
Thanks
some
for
time
joining us,
today getting Manifuego finalized and sent over to some people we may know for an audiobook. So there's that.
Yay.
That would be a very good new beginning, yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It'd be my first published thing, and we're still trying to set a date because we're going to try to release it in tandem, audiobook and published book. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, tomorrow we're meeting up. So after this, that's my task. I got to do that, and I got to do some client work.
You got a cover sources? Have you got a cover yet?
I don't. I made a cover years ago that I kind of like, but I need to really sit with it and work on it. And there's a part of me that thinks I should hire someone to do it, but being that I am a graphic designer, I'm like, I should just do my own cover. It's one of those weird things where it's like, do you do your own cover or do you let somebody else do your cover? So
only one way to find out. Give it a go, try it yourself, and if you decide you're not 100% happy with it, you can find somebody else.
I figure I can make it part of the marketing. I can have a few different cover designs and let people vote, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe test it. Yeah.
How about you, Erica? Did that card say anything to you?
Yeah, I like the idea of possibilities and potential. And like just the idea of evolution. I don't know. I was writing down a lot of things that kind of stuck out to me. Like I like the path and like the protection piece, like with the fence and then the keeping the doorway open. And I feel like right now I have so many different things I want to write that I don't know where to focus, because I have a children's book that's for very, very, very little kids. So like 2 and 3-year-old focused, that I have basically written, and my daughter is going to illustrate it for me.
That's cool.
It's basically it's written, and it's not at the same time. But so like I have that, and it's on consent, like consent for someone that like a 2 and 3-year-old can understand, because most of the stuff that I can find for that topic is geared a little bit older. And then I have the dragon story that I really, really want to write. I have Alana's story that I really want to write. I've got, I think, like 5 other children's books that I want to write. I've got the tarot story that I want to finish. I've got like a gay romance series that I want to write. And like I have all of these things, and I think the amount of things that I want to write is overwhelming. And so then when I have the time, I don't know where to go. So it's like I have too many paths.
I wonder if we can do something as a group to help suss that all out.
I was going to say exactly that.
How can we help?
Because, I mean, that's certainly an issue I've come up with in the past, because I am very much, I need several projects on the go at any one time, because I get, bored is the wrong word, but I just kind of get stuck in one thing, and becomes a bit monotonous, and I just need a bit of a change of pace. And so I will write a little bit in one story, then just flip to a different file, write a different bit in that one. But and eventually it comes to a stage where it just takes on a life of its own. But I have in the past gone, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do this?
Well, and that's exactly why of the 7 books in the Alana series, I have written a little bit in each one. That's why books 1, 2, and 4 are complete, and 2 and 5 are almost complete, and or 3 and 5 are almost because I needed to jump around.
They call that quilting. I'm no good at quilting. I'm a very linear writer, and that's how I get stuck.
I've never heard that phrase before.
I haven't either. But I would love to be more linear. I think it would be helpful in some instances. Right now it's just really overwhelming. Oh, and then I have 3 journal articles I want to work on.
Is it a matter of so it's more a matter of because for me, I can't find time. For you, it's you can't find the right direction to go in. Is that right? You can't pick? Or
Yes.
Is it both?
No, it's I can't pick. And maybe I need to write them all down and see how many I have and roll a dice.
Because you can get to all of them. It's not a matter of you have to pick one and then not write the other one ever. It's just you have to pick one now to write. So maybe it's a matter of okay, I've got 7 stories. Which story is the most immediately interesting to me? Okay, which story is the most important for me to get published for my career or for, visibility or whatever. So right now, for instance, I'm okay, well, I have to finish Manny Fuego. I really want to go work on my fantasy book, but I need to finish Manny Fuego. So I'm going to focus all my energy on that and my client blogging. Those are the must-haves. Am I making sense?
Mm-hmm.
I suffer from decision fatigue because, so I've developed some tools to help.
And for me, they're all important. I feel like they're all equally important. And that's why I think maybe I hadn't thought about putting this into a dice thing.
Oh, is it Charlene? Nerd Adventure Therapy says you can also rank each one 1 to 5 in urgency internally and then externally, and then add up the numbers and do the one that has the most points.
That's so much math, and there's only a couple of those.
Just roll the dice. Just roll the dice.
Good effort, Charlene, but just roll the dice.
That absolutely makes sense.
That makes sense to me. That's a more complex version of my decision-making tree.
Yes.
So, does that mean, Amber, that you've only ever got one project on the go at any given moment?
Yeah, typically. Because when I am working on a project, my internal monologue tends to shift into writing. So even when I'm not actively writing, I'm writing in my head.
Right.
So if I have more than one project, then I don't know what to focus on while I'm doing dishes and falling asleep at night. And, yeah.
Yeah, because I am very much when I think about writing, it's not necessarily thinking about the sentence structure. It tends to be broad strokes of where the story's going, what's going to happen, and the idea of because usually whenever I come up with a quote unquote cool line, either be it either dialogue, description, or whatever, in my mind, by the time it comes to actually putting words on paper, it will have just completely gone out of my head. Even if I immediately go to write it down, it will just not be there. So when I'm in the shower or washing the pots or something, it does tend to be just a case of imagining who gets stabbed when, mostly.
So you're not composing sentences, but you're putting events together.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Personally, I find the composing sentences part the hardest part of the entire process, just because I agonize over each and every sentence. It's like, oh, that word. Yeah, I mean, that's why I am such a slow word count producer, because it's just, yeah. Oh, will you stop pushing that anti-planner? Yes, it's amazing. We know this. Stop it.
I've never heard of it before, so I appreciate it. I'm going to open that link right now.
But it is very good, the anti-planner.
How to
I
get
love
shit
the
done when you don't feel
design.
like it.
It's such a pretty design.
What's
It's
the other one,
$60.
Charlie? Is it the Heroes Journal?
Heroes Journal's good. I can't afford a $60 planner right now, but if somebody wants to purchase it for me, I am broke, you guys. Broke.
Yeah.
Broke. I
Yes,
have the
it
Heroes
is.
Journal.
Oh,
I got it
Okay.
for donating a few years ago to the thing that we will not mention, but the pages are really fun.
oh, very nice.
It's
Is
like,
that a sleeping dragon? Yeah.
yes, it is. I'm sorry that my camera will not focus,
Ah,
but it's pretty neat. I won't show you pages that I filled out, but there's also like wrap up pages and things like that to be like, oh, okay, like what did we get through? And there's a whole
that's pretty cool.
preamble in the beginning. It's also just very pretty. This is like the inside cover. And I put stickers on mine, and there's a coffee stain on it because it's me. So
Because what journal is a real? It's not a real journal unless it has coffee stains on it.
oh yeah, basically. Yeah. So it also changes like as you go through it. So if you're in it's probably Act 3. So the design changes as you go along. Pretty cool. It's like the instructions. Okay, I'll stop.
Okay.
But it's a good one. It's probably not $60 also. So
Yeah.
need a more budget-friendly version.
I just get myself bullet journals and just create my own little spreads according to the mood as it takes me.
I love bullet journals. Nobody cares about the stream. Graham Cracker, if you go live right now, we'll miss you. So,
Yeah.
That's all.
What stream? Huh? Which?
Oh, they're talking about going live.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Might go
That's
live.
okay. I'm keeping an eye on chat.
Thank you. Oh, yes. So did you. Sorry, Graham. I didn't. So you wish you could be a Twitch stream? Well, you'll make it if you give it a try.
Yeah, like I said, I literally streamed to one person today. It's more like if you go live frequently enough and regularly enough, people will catch on. And, there's some things that you got to do to make it interesting, like talk and be animated. And, there's some science to picking a game that people will like or a topic or whatever. But I think the consistency part is really what matters. That's how we have our merry little band here today. So,
well, is it every Monday?
Yep, every Monday. Rain or shine.
I forgot where I was going. Can't.
We're talking about
What you
planners.
can't do. Yeah, well, don't do Roblox then. It
How
would
do
be
you get banned from Roblox?
don't ask. I don't.
You know what? Never mind. You're right. It's a can of worms I don't need to open.
But yeah, so for me, the act of actually putting the sentences down, I find quite tough, and so therefore it's whichever project at that particular stage is giving me the least amount of trouble structural, on a sentence basis. So that tends to be how I muddle through numerous projects at one point, whereas that is not an issue you two have, because a couple of 100 words an hour, a couple of 1,000 words an hour,
Well, and when I go back and edit, because I don't I don't agonize over the word. So when I go back, like when we did the reading, I spent a good 3 hours editing that whatever 5 minutes that I read.
Right.
Or however long it was, because I basically had to rewrite 90% of it. Like,
Did you
well,
need to, or did you? Because I recall thinking
Well-
it was eminently not necessarily editable. I mean,
oh no,
everything is editable.
no. But you didn't. That wasn't the first draft.
Oh, I see.
The one that you read to us?
Yes, I had gone in and edited what I was reading.
Okay.
So,
And how long does the editing process take for you?
well, for that little bit, it took about 3 hours, because when I was reading through it, I was like, okay. So when I'm writing, is at least for Alana's story, like I am basically making a like a very detailed outline, and not putting in, like, I'm putting in a little bit more detail than maybe what I have in my notes and describing things a little bit more. But there are some things, especially when doing sprints, that I am not going to have time to go to really like sit and think about, because it's a sprint. And for November, I was determined to get all of my words in.
Get your
and
words down. Yeah.
So, and that's how it's been every November, which is when I get the bulk of writing for that story done. And so it just like, and when I'm writing the first time through, I'm a very simple writer. Like, I write very simply. And so then, like, in my edit process, I go in and I put more description. And I don't know if that makes any sense.
It makes absolute sense. I mean, and this is it. I've said previously that my favorite part of the whole writing process is the editing process, because I just love cutting shit, throwing shit around. Just that's where I have my fun. Whereas it sounds like for you the fun is in the splurge, and then the hard work comes later on.
Yes.
Whereas for me, the splurge is actually a come on, I can't get it.
Yeah. So, like, when it comes time to edit, so like, let me look. The first book of Alana's is current. Oh, hold on, not that one. I have so many like spreadsheets and trackers. It's not even. So the first book right now, the word count is sitting at 91,338. And that sounds like awful to go in and edit.
It depends really how you're going to do, because a thing I tend to do is I print mine off and then I go through them, literally with a colored pen, just cross out massive paragraphs, star certain things, move things around, X, Y, and so the first edit for me is largely down to cuts. Okay, just get rid of all that. Then the second one tends to be go through and making changes to sentences, and then the third edit tends to be typos and stuff. That's how I tend to do it. But
Here's book 2.
that's not very much. Double-sided?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. I was thinking, Jesus, that's a whole book. Okay.
It's double-sided.
Ah.
And some of it is small because it printed off like I don't know how I had it print off comments.
Graham has. We're all thinking it, mate.
No, because really, we don't want to read first draft. No.
No, first draft. The world is not ready for first drafts.
Oh, here we go. Yes, this is what. Okay, so I didn't rewrite everything, but this is what I worked off of for when I was reworking.
Oh, that's cool.
I could not do that. I have to do it digitally. Otherwise I'd go nuts. So I'm impressed.
I might have.
But yeah, and all of these comments in the side notes, those are like all of the comments that like I have like put in and asked myself questions and so yeah.
That's awesome. I hate
But
it.
yeah,
I have a friend who just started writing, and she's like, in her first draft, she does the thing where she wakes up at 5 a.m. and writes, and I'm like, I don't know how you do it. She also has 2 small children about my son's age, so it's just like, oh my god. So, but I was telling her, like, I don't know, just get through it. Just shovel the sand in the sandbox and don't worry too much, and don't hey, Graham Cracker, we talked about it. We're not doing politics.
Yeah,
on
we're
this stream, so
not going to discuss those things.
No, it's too sensitive. We're not getting into geopolitics.
No,
and
I think.
Sorry, dude.
Yeah, just please. We get the message, and we're not disagreeing with you.
We're not agreeing with you.
We're not necessarily agreeing either, because it doesn't matter what we say, we'll get into trouble for it, and I've got better things to do with my life than argue with people on the internet. So
yeah, and this
stream
stays
I hear
up,
you,
and
but please,
just you can share your political thoughts and actions in other spaces. We try to keep this just writing focused. So it's Anyway, Dan, we have an emergency. What, Kraken? What's the emergency?
Kraken. Sorry, I didn't realize. Oh, I didn't see you, Kraken. Sorry, I would have said hi.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
He ran into a straight razor, and this is what happened.
Yeah,
there was a communication issue at his last haircut. That's all. It happens to the best of us. It'll grow back fast. You have short hair, just.
Oh yeah. I'm not worried. It's it was hilarious. It was so funny. I'm like, okay, well, there's no one doing this now, is there? Okay.
We're just going with it.
One of these days, I'm going to do that to my hair.
And why not?
Because I've never done it, and I want to.
I will say I'm growing out my undercut right now, and it is a living nightmare. So just be sure that that's what you want to do, because
my hair, my hair lady said that my hair grows faster than like anybody she's ever seen ever in her career. Yeah.
I loved my undercut too, Nerd Adventure Therapy. It's just that like I didn't have the wherewithal to go in every 3 weeks to keep it looking good. It got shaggy really fast, and so I just didn't want to go in and get a haircut every few weeks.
Man question, what's an undercut?
It's when you shave the bottom part, but not. So I had like this part and down shaved, and then it's still long on top. And it was nice, and I loved it. It looked really good. My hair dried faster and all that stuff, but it just would start to look really funkified after a couple weeks. So
Kraken, I don't think I would look. I am past the age of looking good in leather jackets. There is a time when men can wear leather jackets. Your 40s is not that time.
hard disagree. I think you can wear a leather jacket as long as you wish to wear a leather jacket.
Unless you're Brian Ferry. Brian Ferry can pull off a leather jacket in his 40s. He can pull off a leather jacket and a bow tie at the same time. Man was cool. Man was classy as hell.
Telling you, I think you just need to develop your own personal style and stick with it and be happy. Like, I have a leather jacket that I love and I'm never going to stop wearing it. So there.
Fair play. Yeah, but you started it, which means it's part of your fashion. Me starting, it would be a bit cringe for somebody my age, do you not think? I mean, look at me.
I've never seen you in outerwear, so I have no idea what your outerwear style is. I mean, you live in England, it's dreary. You can have a leather jacket. Come on now.
You wound me. Anyway,
by saying that it's dreary?
No. Sorry?
By saying that England is dreary?
Yeah, okay, fine, whatever.
Look, I was there for like 10 days. It was overcast almost every day.
Anyway, let's stop talking about hairdressing and leather jackets and fashion. Kraken, no, we are not doing the Doctor Who chat.
I'm not a Doctor Who fan, so I would sit here like this.
Me neither, because the current Doctor's. Wait, which one's the current Doctor?
I don't know. I watched David Tennant. That was fun. I liked that. I was done.
I think they've cast a black bloke for it. I don't know if he's the current Doctor or if he's the Doctor to be, or
the companion.
Anyway,
can I say something controversial?
Yes.
The Doctor Who fandom can get a bit much for me.
Any fandom can get a bit much for me, to be fair.
Fair. It just gets a little bit intense. That's all I have to say.
I wrote a chapter for a book about psychology and via Doctor Who.
Oh, that's right.
I had to engage with the fandom, but I had to read through some of the fandom. I'm like, these guys are either 5 years old or need to get out more. And I don't know which is which.
How do you know someone's a Doctor Who fan?
How?
Oh, don't worry. They'll tell you. Sorry. Done. I'm all done. Don't at me. I'm sure I've riled the fandom up. I apologize. I know. It's wonderful. It's fine. It's not for me.
Yeah, there you go. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm teaching my son to say that. You don't hate it. It's just not for you.
There you go.
Oh, first time chat from Stephanie. Hello. Welcome.
Hello,
we were going to talk about writing, but we've gotten derailed about 15 times.
Big bold biker dude. I really hope he isn't a big bold biker dude. He could be a big bold biker dude. You never know. Oh, actually, the Doctor as a big bold biker dude would be hilarious. To be fair,
with the handlebar that goes up like this.
Yeah, on a Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd watch that.
Mm-hmm.
The Doctor in his rebellious days.
Never too late to start. Oh, Santa as a biker. I feel like I've seen Biker Santa. We are so distractible today.
Hey, no, you know what? I think there's going to be a chopper show up somewhere in this dragon story, because I think that would be awesome.
Well, there was.
Yeah. We already had magical choppers because Hagrid wrote a magical chopper.
Oh, this story is taking on a whole life of its own, which I'm kind of loving.
Those are the best stories.
The story that we created completely on the fly.
On accident, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I don't know where his smoking habit comes from yet. However, I did find, I was looking for like some setting artwork and found an artist on DeviantArt. And oh my goodness,
There you go.
I'm very excited.
It's very exciting.
So, question though. So you're getting really excited about that story, and yet you've been saying, in the past half an hour or so, that you're finding it difficult to focus in on a story. When does this excitement wear off between now and the writing?
Okay, and so I just had this thought, like, as you were asking that question, because I knew where you were going with that question. I think that
Are you trying to say I'm predictable?
no, it was, I think our brains work a lot the same.
No.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I don't know. I don't know. It's helpful to have a kindred brain. But I think when I sit down to write, like, I have all of these ideas, and without the series aspect of them, there are 10 total ideas, but then 1, 2, 3 of them are series. So when I sit down to write, though, I think I feel like I'm cheating on Alana, and that I need, like, I should myself.
Okay, there's a lot I want to say. First of all, Nerd Adventure Therapy and I both agree that the dragon can't breathe fire anymore, so the smoking kind of helps him, get back in touch with that aspect. Hearts all around. Kraken wants to know how our works in progress are coming along, which we kind of touched on at the beginning of the stream. Mine's not. Erica's a little bit stuck on what to write next, but you should be writing the dragon story because you're excited about it. Like, just ride that wave.
I mean, I don't think I gave my update. I have reached a stage that I've started to want to write stuff again, which has not happened for several months. So I haven't actually done anything yet because there's this thing called time. But yeah, so that was my update. Just there you go, Kraken. You've got everybody's updates. Why are you not making great progress yourself? Oh, there you go.
I'm not sure that I want to write lately either, honestly. Like, now that I think about it, when I have had downtime, I've been drawing, I've been embroidering, I've been gardening. I haven't wanted to sit at the computer and like put words to paper, which is a little bit distressing, but I am reading again. I wasn't able to read for like a year and a half. Like, legitimately, I would sit down to try and my brain would be like, no.
I think I can tell you exactly why that is, because I had the same problem. Whenever I'm writing a lot, my reading brain just goes down because it's the same, it's the same part of my brain that's doing that work. And if I'm spending all my time writing, by the time it comes to do reading, it's just exhausted. Whereas if I'm not writing as much, then that means it needs that fix, so it gets it from the writing.
See, I don't have that same issue. Typically I've done both a lot throughout my life. And Stephen King has this line in this wonderful book, which if you have not read it, I highly recommend. What? Why are you shaking your head?
I can't do Stephen King. I have too vivid of nightmares and recurrent, I can't do anything horror.
Is it on writing?
Yeah, this is his memoir about the process. So you're not reading like scary stuff. But he says at some point, and they're hard disagree, he says, if you don't have time to read, you don't have time to write. But he believes very much that the processes are intertwined, which I do think, like, if you're reading a lot, you're getting a better idea of sentence structure. And oh, look, I found a to-do list in here. from 2010. Oh,
you do
no.
it? Please tell me you did the list. What is on the list?
Okay. Out of bed stuff, proactive, vitamin, get dressed. I don't know. Car registration, weights and abs, play, write, call Iris. I don't know who Iris is anymore. Probably a coworker. Walk ×2. Yep, that's.
Well, it sounds like you got most of those done. Do you know what, Graham? I can handle being called a bookworm.
They called us bookworms. I'm fine with. Do you not see the shelf behind me? It's covered in books and video games, and stuffies, and tarot cards and tea.
See, I have an issue, not an issue with King so much as I. So you said hard disagree because I've got that book as well. I've got it down here, and he just says a few things absolutely, and if you disagree with him, you're not a writer. And I'm like, mate, do one. Because at the end of the day,
sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just going to re-emphasize, do one. This one's a good one, actually.
Not everybody has time to do both every day, is my thing. You're lagging. What was that book?
That was Ursula Le Guin, Steering the Craft.
I've got to write this down for the Discord. Steering the Craft. Yeah, I will say if I was as successful and prolific as Stephen King, I might start to believe that my advice was perfect. So,
yeah, fair play.
Oh my God, say the title of the book again because it just slipped out of my brain.
So, Steering the Craft.
Steering the Craft by Ursula
K. Le Guin.
Leaning.
For Sailing the Sea of Story. Because she starts off with. So I'll read you the contents page actually, because it's so chapter 1, the sound of your writing. Chapter 2, punctuation and grammar. 3, sentence length and complex syntax. 4, repetition. 5, adjectives and adverbs. 6, verbs, person and tense. 7, point of view and voice. 8, changing point of view. 9, indirect narration or what tells. And 10, crowding and leaping. And so it comes across as quite it teaches you how to be your own writer, if that makes sense. It's very gentle. It's written by Le Guin, so it's very poetic, even though it's a textbook essentially. It's got plenty of exercises in it. But this teaches you how to be a writer. This tells you what you should do to consider yourself a writer. And
I disagree on that. I mean, he does have some of that, but he also does have some very sound advice. And
oh no, absolutely. I think I agree with a lot of it. I do agree with a lot of his advice. I don't know. It just comes across as being a bit, do it my way, otherwise get lost, kind of.
I know. I remember very, very vividly reading about his daily schedule. It was like, I wake up, I take a walk, I have some tea, I read a book for a couple hours, I take another walk, I sit down to write, I have more tea. And I was like, I want to be a writer when I grow up. It sounds so lovely.
Yeah, where I wake up, I go to work, I won't go to bed, I wake up, I go to work. It's.
Yeah, I'm thinking about so when I go to Orlando, it'll be my first time ever flying by myself. And I have to, my flight leaves at 5:10 in the morning. So I have to be at the airport at stupid o'clock in the morning, which is when my brain wakes up and does its best thinking. And so I'm kind of excited because I'm going to take my little Bluetooth keyboard and I think I'm gonna try and write because I won't have any other distractions.
I love that. I wrote a bunch on my last plane ride. It was just like there was nothing else to do. Just put in my music and even on that little when you're like this with the chair in front of you, but still it's better than an in-flight movie.
I've already started packing for San Diego, which I don't go to until the end of July. And so I've got my Bluetooth keyboard.
I'm still trying to think about how to get to Southern California in July. I'm not sure I can do it, but I want to. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually with Stephanie on this one.
That's like an amazing amount of like if I could sit and write for an hour a day, I would feel like a rock star and I would get so much done. And I tell myself, like, had I done that 3 years ago, I would have published like 8 books by now.
And I am very much in the camp. Like I am reading much, much, much more than I'm writing right now. And I don't know if reading is self-care right now or if it's escapism and just like, or both. It could totally be both.
So escapism is self-care, isn't it?
Well,
especially with the way the world is at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, yes, and as much as I'm doing it, it's almost getting unhealthy because there are a lot of things that I need to be doing that would make, so like the last 2 days, part of why I feel like I've been lazy is because I've been reading about 75% of my days. And like if I would do 2 or 3 more things that like on my to-do list for the rest of the week, it would make my work week a lot less. And I could write for an hour. And I'm not. And I'm okay with, like, right now, it's okay. I'm choosing to write or to read more.
Stephanie's just told us about finishing a book in 7 months.
Nice. That's amazing.
Amazing.
And you're already working on the sequel? I mean, can I have some of your energy, please?
I think it's really okay, Erica, to be slipping into a reading phase right now. Like, as we discussed multiple times, like the geopolitics of the world right now, we're heading into an election year. I just saw a very distressing lawn sign on one of my neighbor's lawns. Like, it's just very like, it's a lot to just be a person in the world right now. So I think anything that makes you feel okay in your body and your brain, I wouldn't worry about it, unless it's like seriously impeding all the things you have to get done, like showering, feeding your family, going to work.
No, I'm still doing all of those things.
So just let
I
it
guess
ride.
the things that I could be doing, like writing.
Yeah, but you're reading, and that's also really good for your brain. And you kind of just need it right now.
Yeah. No, and I did not realize that Orlando is next week, and I need to get our luggage out from under the stairs and like get a packing list and.
Fun. I know. I stress out before I travel.
Yeah, I hate traveling. Once I'm where I need to go, I'm great. I hate going anywhere.
I actually think that this may. I'm not sure. It'll be interesting because usually when we're traveling, I'm not traveling by myself. It's either us going as a family, and so I'm managing everybody else's stuff, or it's me and my husband going somewhere and I'm managing both of our stuff. And so now it's just going to be me. And so it's either going to stress me out more or it's going to be a lot more chill. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I like traveling by myself.
Yeah, no kids.
No kids.
Yeah. I'm like I say, so I'm going to California by myself. It's going to be fucking amazing. No wife, no child.
Bring lots of sunscreen.
I imagine you'll have it there.
We do. We have it here. I mean, as you can see, I'm already glistening. I'm like, it's so balmy today in the office. It's like.
Yeah, whereas, I thought about putting the heating on again yesterday.
Don't tease me like that. It's 80 degrees outside. It's like, what?
Yes, but you have this thing called air conditioning. When it gets hot here, there's no escape.
That's true. Not all houses have air conditioning in California, though.
Thankfully, I'll be in a hotel, so it doesn't matter. As
You'll
long
be
as
in
all
a
the
hotel.
hotels have air conditioning.
Yeah, well, in San Diego, I think you're going to have a lot of that, but there's some regions where it's not part of the works. So, well, we're at the top
Stephanie,
of the
that's
hour.
awesome. I love that.
That's great.
Yeah, that's.
I love that. And
Yeah.
thank you for joining us today. I'm glad to see new faces in the chat. So it's always nice to make new friends. Are you planning on self-publishing, Stephanie? Or I'm curious. You just wrote that book in 7 months like it was nothing.
And move straight onto the. So actually, I suppose I wrote that very quickly. I think it might be. How long did it take? How long did I say it took me to write that thing?
I don't remember. That was a different thing though, because you got the publishing contract and then wrote it, right? So it's however long the contract.
Well, no, I'm just saying that I just realized I'm going like, oh God, Jesus, that's not possible writing. So, oh yeah, no, I suppose I did write something in that amount of time. But
I think you had said that you gave yourself too short of a window, and then you had to
I
do it.
learned afterwards that people give themselves something like 18 months to write a book. I think I gave myself something like 3. That's a very, very wise decision.
Stephanie, if you need an editor, my editor is amazing, and she keeps her prices pretty low, and she does it by word. So if you need a recommendation, I can give that to you off stream, or I can just shout her out. Kelly Scriven, I love her. She's wonderful. So yeah, I think the cost for Manny Fuego was somewhere around $250. And then the final line edits, I think, was like $60. Yeah, I'm telling you, she does really affordable editing services, but she's booked out through August right now. I know she just started this year, like doing it full time, and she's already booked out through the summer. So I'm like, yay, Kelly, yay. I also did her logo.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, Kelly Scriven's great.
And for an editor, that is a great name.
I know. I'm like, that's just her name? Kelly Scriven. So good. So yeah, I think her website is just Kelly Scriven Writing or something like that. If you Google Kelly Scriven Editor, it'll pop right up. So she's great. She's great and affordable, and I love her to death. And she does like sliding scale type things or like payment plans and different things. So she really tries to make it affordable for people to have professional editing services.
Nice.
And her TikTok is also amazing because she explains commas and em dashes and all kinds of like things that tend to hamstring us as writers. So yeah, formatting's a thing. I also edit myself. I'm kind of wondering if, as the community grows, we can set up like beta reader circles or things like that to help people move along. If somebody, like if Kraken needs somebody to read over their draft and somebody else is like, I want to read it, but it's pie in the sky stuff.
Yeah. But after that conversation, Erica, how are you feeling? Are you feeling less pressured about projects, or have we just talked for an hour?
No, I'm feeling good. I need to get some pictures printed off because that's just the way that this thing works for me.
I'm sorry, Stephanie. You wrote a 200,000 word novel in 7 months.
Wow.
Okay, she writes faster than I do.
Yeah, a new record.
That is incredible. I mean, that thing. Okay, 3 months. That's 70. I mean,
You have 70,000 in 3 months.
Awesome. That's amazing.
That is amazing.
You Crack. You were indeed very nice today. Thank you.
George Martin. Dude, George Martin is the slowest. I'm so mad at him. I refuse to read or engage with any of his new media because he didn't finish his book series, and I will never stop shouting out about it. It's like Tolkien in the Bridge, George Martin and the refusal to finish his books.
Has anybody seen the rap battle between Tolkien and Martin?
Pretty sure I did. Epic Rap Battles of History.
Yeah.
Dr. Seuss versus Shakespeare is my favorite one.
Yes, good choice. Good choice. And on that bombshell, shall we call it an evening?
I'm trying to think if that's the. I don't know that it's rap battles that we watch, but there's something that my husband and daughter watch. And there's one with Pinkie Pie and Deadpool.
What?
And it may be rap battle. It's fantastic.
Hey, I'm
Death Battles. I think it's called Death Battles.
That sounds like a new iteration of Celebrity Deathmatch. Do you remember that from MTV from way back in the day?
do
I'm
remember
aging
that.
myself right now. Like,
Oh
y'all
my
kids
God.
remember Celebrity Deathmatch? Like,
Hey, you're aging yourself. I didn't watch it because I was too old for it. I was like, that's something that kids watch.
I was just the right age for it when it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Let's
think
get
it
it
is.
on.
Kraken, I think it is Epic Death Battle.
Epic
Yeah.
Death Battle. I wonder if it's by the same people.
I would, but yeah, they watch a lot of those, but the Pinkie Pie and Deadpool one is fantastic.
Can you put that up in the Discord, please?
Yes. I will make myself a note because between now and by the time we get off and I find it, I'll forget.
All right. I think it's time for us to shuffle off this digital coil. I have to take a drink of
Sorry,
water.
Graham, just to answer your question, how do you enable your camera? No idea. We don't use Twitch. We're using it via something else. So, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I use Streamlabs, so I can't
Yeah.
help you, my friend.
So, on that note, thank you very much indeed, everybody, for joining us. Thank you to the lovely Erica and Amber for coming on for this chat. I thought it was going to be just me until a few minutes before.
Gosh, no. I was just coming off my lonely stream.
And where can we all be found?
I'm at RPG Play Therapy on Twitch and YouTube, though there's nothing on Twitch and there's not a ton on YouTube yet.
But that's where you can be found.
That is where you can be found.
I am at Robots and Magic wherever you get your internet, except for Twitter, because we don't play over there. I am currently streaming Fallout 4 weekly on Twitch on Mondays, usually right before this stream. And I have a website, but it's kind of in the process of moving around because I rebranded my creative services. So anyway, if you want to find me in other places and engage with me in all kinds of ways and see the silly reel I made about my D&D game this week, then look at Robots and Magic on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch and TikTok. You'll get more of me than you ever wanted.
Never. And you can find me on YouTube at the RPG Therapist or at monomythcounselling.co.uk. And if you would like to learn how to use role-playing games in psychotherapy, get your copy of Role-Playing Games in Psychotherapy, a Practitioner's Guide on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and wherever you get your reading material. No, Kraken, no, there was no need for that just as we're leaving. No.
I have one dice set. I would just be quiet the whole time, which would be a nice break, I'm sure, for all of you. But
And on that bombshell, thanks very much indeed, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you next week.
and goodbye.